Stardust is on a panel with Lav right now. They're talking about it's Lav, Smith, Stardust, and that Arlie guy who's on Wick panels sometimes. Talking about should women be in the military. This is so we get an hour behind. We get to put a nice 1.5 at least a 1.5 on this one. I saw someone in my comments on the latest Stardust video said, "Can you stop watching videos on 2x? It should be illegal." I said, obviously, watching Stardust on less than 2x should be illegal. I don't know how you would... Wait, imagine asking me to turn the speed on Stardust down. You crazy? What's wrong with you?
Welcome, one and all, to yet another episode of Wick TV, across the ideological space where we come together to talk about issues both political and cultural. From the
even Wick is bad,
we have a show
bro.
for you today, gang. We are going to be talking about women in war. The draft, at least in America, does not include women. Should it? Should women be required?
It is masochistic. It really is.
Country, if the country so deems that they are required. Should women be allowed to fight on the front lines? It's a good question, and we're here to talk about it. But first, before we do, I wanted to say Happy New Year to all the people in my audience. I know we had a stream yesterday, but it was a call-in stream, kind of a low-key thing. So now that you're all here, welcome and Happy New Year. Let's give a brief opening statement to each of these individuals. They can introduce themselves, and then we'll just get into it. And we're going to start with Ali. Thank you. Hi.
Hey, what's going on? All right, so
They play Stardust on 0.5 in Alcatraz.
Do I think women should sign up for the draft? Probably not. It seems really unnecessary. If we need people to go to war, need people to fight, we're probably going to need the men more than we're going to need the men. We're going to need them first. In terms of them wanting to sign up to join and fight for the front lines, I mean, they can if they want to. They're going to have to be tested to see if they're even capable enough to do that. And if they pass the test, I don't see why they shouldn't do that. Other than that, yeah.
Okay, thanks for being here, and I'm sure we'll get into it as we go. Lav, please, what do you have?
Hi, I'm Lav. I'm getting over COVID, so I'm low energy and grumpy.
Lav, a schlong COVID survivor? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that we should bar women from being on the front lines if they want to. If they even pass like any sort of test to be I mean, there are very few even female Marines for the reason that they're just not as strong, obviously. So none. I don't think that I just don't. I think that this is ridiculous. Obviously, women shouldn't be involved in a draft. There's never going to be a time where we run out of men, so that we need to do that. Men are just sort of built to be put to war, and women are built to have children. So that's
Fair enough. I hope that you aren't. That this isn't too stressful.
Stardust just sitting there thinking, "Oh, thank God, Lav's on death's door. Oh, thank God, I might survive this panel. Holy shit, my self-worth might not be completely dismantled by the end of these 3 hours. I might not need the belt that I've prepped around my door handle, around the ceiling fan. Well, I mean that wouldn't quite work. I don't think for Stardust.
Yeah, it's called Draft Kings. It's not called Draft Queens, baby. No, that's not what I think that women should absolutely be signed up for the draft. I don't want to live in a society where women don't serve in the military, don't work as judges.
Oh yeah, I suppose maybe I'll show this quickly. So there was a little bit. Someone was having a little bit of fun on Twitter. I don't know. Some really not nice individuals, I think, were having a little bit of fun on Twitter when they saw this panel announcement. Don't know who saw this. Hey gang, tonight at 6 PM EST, we go live to discuss women in warfare. Should women be drafted? What about serving frontline positions? Why and why not? We've gathered a team. At Tweets from Star, at Impish Pixie, at Real Smith, at Ali the Sagir. And maybe more will be joining us. And then, some fella here sourcing support, don't know who this is, replies, "Very interesting topic. At Beckett of Crabs, obviously you would let Star vote in favour of equalising the draft, but outside of that move for equality, would you allow Star to enlist as an infantryman?" And then there's some footage of domestic violence there, being compared to Stardust and Beckett. And I replied, from Wikipedia, in the 1989 television cartoon, the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, Goombas are loyal soldiers in King Koopa's army. The general appearance of the Goomba resembles the ones found in the Mario video games. Chat, what else generally resembles the appearance of the Goombas from the Super Mario video games? Chat, what else? What else resembles the appearance of a Goomba? Oh, man.
Politicians aren't cops and aren't the president. Okay, if we want women to be our president, then they should be required to sign up for the draft. If our laws dictate that women are unfit for the military, how can you expect Americans to see a woman as someone who's fit to be the president? The president's main job is to command the military. It's a military position, and if we want to trust and respect a woman enough to defend our country, then we're going to have to sign them up for the draft. In my utopia, So I don't think that. Okay, so I should get to okay. I'm skipping a point. Okay, I'm trying to go fast. Quick legs of brief. Women should also be firefighters, but that doesn't mean that I think that the guy who has the fire axe busting through a flaming wall should be a woman. Like that person should obviously be a man because that's a physically demanding job. But there are plenty of other roles in firefighting that a woman can do. So you should they're not the same as men. You should allocate their jobs appropriately. So and there's a lot of non-combat, non-heavy lifting jobs in the military. There's cooks. There's like.
I mean, I just hate this argument because it's like. I mean, yeah, you are saying that women should be in the army, but like fighting this opinion, it's like such a watered down version. It's like it's not such a watered down version of position. You know, it is conceding essentially the point that women should not be in combat roles, which I feel like is the main question here. So it's really about combat roles, right? I don't think anyone is saying that women shouldn't be able to sit at a fucking desk and file forms about how much ammunition's needed. Like, I don't think anyone's seriously arguing that. It's about combat roles. That's the argument.
Engineers, programmers, cleaners, industrial, manufacturing. There's basically every type of job you can think of. The military has to have people doing it. And so yeah, just do that. In my utopia, where that's the case, if there was a draft, you're going to see a military where entire branches or entire factions of the military are completely run and dominated and led by women. And I think that Americans they respect women so little, they imagine that and they think women will fuck it up somehow with their stupid women bullshit. And I don't think that. I think that women are actually better workers than men, and that's been proven to be the case. They're more loyal to their employers and they're more disciplined. I think that if we want women to stop acting like children, then all we have to do is stop treating them like children. And this is a big, important way to do that.
Okay, well, that was a lot. well, I'm sure we'll address it in the open. Last but certainly not least, Stardust, please.
Hi, I'm Stardust. So I personally believe that when it comes to selective service registration, it's not fair that men are required to sign up for it and women are not. It's just not fair under law. I think that women should be required to sign up for selective service registration. Just because they're signed up for selective service registration doesn't mean that when they're drafted, that necessarily they're going to be working in the front lines in combat. But
Stardust. Weren't you going to go and face Conrad? I thought you were just as capable as any man. When you going to go stare down that shotgun? Wasn't that your plan, Stardust? If only. Beckett can't hold me back. No man keep me down. Fucking thinking she's... Bro, I can never remember that bitch's name from Lord of the Rings. Who's the bitch who kills the... Oh man, it's not Sauron either. Fuck, I don't know shit about Lord of the Rings, man. She sees herself as that character anyway. The ginger one. Eowyn? I think so, yeah. Yeah, the one that's like, I am no man. That's how Stardust sees herself, 100%. The Witch King, that's it. Is the Witch King, is that like the leader of the Nazgul? Is that... I don't know shit all about Lord of the Rings. I watched the movies once, and I've played the Shadow of Mordor games. Okay.
there are women who are able to do that, then they should be able to do that, right? It's going to depend on who fits where and what their best needs are. There are plenty of other jobs, being cooks, taking care of things from an administrative level, pilots, drivers, things like that. But when technology is involved, women tend to, things are even. Also, we do have women who who have been in combat. Tammy Duckworth is one of my favorite politicians. She's somebody who is a senator, and she had her legs blown off in combat. But I think she's super badass. So yes, I think women should be required to sign up for the draft. Does that mean that women will necessarily be in these combat zones? Not really. Apparently, even when people were drafted for the Vietnam War, a lot of them were not on the front lines. So.
Okay. Well, that does bring up an interesting question, right? So for those of you who don't...
So, they immediately conceded women shouldn't be in combat roles. Okay. Okay. So you're not really even arguing the point. And Stardust, this is like undermining your entire spurg out the other week. So nice job. Nice job, retard.
Believe that women should be required to sign up for the draft. Would your beliefs change if it was simply to service jobs within the military and things like that that they were required to work for? Or what are your thoughts here? Go ahead.
No, not really. I mean, the way I think about it is if we ever are in a moment where we need a draft, and if we have all these men and all these women signed up, realistically, we're probably going to choose the men first anyways. And then by the time we need the women, we're fucked. So it's like, regardless, if we have X amount of people, we're not going to take everyone in. So we're going to have to choose who we seem to be the best. And it's going to be the men first and then the women.
So you think the men are better at women at everything, is what you just said?
No, he did not say that. He did not say that they're better at everything. No, men are built more durably. no, to do everything. That's not true.
We're talking about
This
service
is hold on. This was in your opening statement, Smith. Is that you said you had said like, how can we respect a president who like whatever you want? I'm too sick to fucking recite your stupid fucking dumbass argument. A woman does not need to be strong in order to be respected for her intelligence or her intellectual prowess. You don't need to be strong. In fact, a lot of men don't need to be strong for you to respect their intellectual prowess. So how can I respect a woman in a position of power as a professor, as a doctor, as all these things, if her body's not big enough to take bullets? I mean, come the fuck on.
I don't think that's what Smith is saying. I think what he's saying is that if we want women to truly,
can I say what I said instead of you saying what I said? Okay,
Sure, go ahead. No,
women are weaker than men. Okay, women are weaker than men physically. So like have them do jobs that are not like they're like.
Is a president like winning a
right? Exactly, and the president is a military commander. So that's a job
where you're strong to be a military commander.
Exactly. So you can. So that's why exactly. And you don't have to be strong to be a cook or a medic or an engineer or a programmer or a janitor. Okay, so have women do those jobs in the military because they're not as strong.
They should just be able to go into the military if they want to. A draft implies that we need people to catch bullets for our country.
Right. And so when you have a military operation,
one at a time. Let's start us going. When we've had a draft in the past, only a very small percentage of the people who were drafted actually went to the front lines. So that is not true. So a draft is not necessarily putting women in front of bullets. The women who are recruited could be doing things like being nurses and doctors. In fact, if you look at studies, women tend to make better nurses and doctors than men do. Their patients have better outcomes. So why wouldn't we recruit women for these things?
Well, why would you? Is like if most of the people don't end up going to the front lines and they're filling up service jobs anyways, why do we have to resort to like also going to women when we already have enough men to fill up?
Our country would never stoop so low as to enlist some pathetic, lowly, stupid, retarded women, smelly. Right?
Are you good, bro? You all right?
Why do you think women are not as good as men? They can't do basically any job. Because I'm talking about basically every job. Okay, so why should we pick men over women?
In terms of war, men are probably better suited for things like pertaining to war than women.
So like controlling a drone to shoot people. Do you think men are better at that?
Yeah.
Even something like even something as little as like.
I mean, I don't know. Isn't there shit about? I don't really care about this debate. I don't know why I'm even trying to argue the points, but isn't there some shit about like spatial awareness or whatever? Isn't that actually a thing? Am I crazy? And like, yeah, isn't it kind of like isn't the same skills as video games at that point kind of comparable? Because and women do not seem to be able to compete at all on that sort of in those sorts of tasks. It's just like such a retarded example to go to. I feel like why talk about drones and controlling drones? Why not talk about like data entry shit or like logistics? Is that why not talk about that sort of thing? Why even bother bringing up the drone shit if you're already conceding on the non-combat roles?
Lifting, artillery to put inside of something.
Yeah,
I mean, something like that.
Or if you need to lift people as a nurse, you use a man. It's like it's just better suited in the war. It's not true.
The vast majority of
women are way better at Excel because they can sit there and do tedious bullshit.
There's a huge percentage of medical workers are women, and we still lift people every day.
In World War I and World War II, in World War I and in World War II, actually, frankly, in every single war ever, there's never been a woman draft, and yet there's still been so many women volunteering
They'd wick loose his teeth in an IED.
to do medic, to be nurses, to do all those things. Women will do that. Women will do that. In fact, it's still like, I mean, it's almost conscripted in the fact that you're like socially kind of not forced into it, but like maneuvered into that role. I don't think that we need a military draft for that.
Okay, so we do need it for men, but we don't for women because they'll just do it anyway because
I don't really believe in a draft period. I don't think there will ever be a point where we need a draft.
Like a draft is a backup plan. It's not a necessity. It's not something we're using.
Yeah,
you're changing the topic and dismissing. You're changing the topic so that you don't lose because you've been backed into a corner.
Okay.
No, first of all, the questions that I said, do you think women should be on the front lines? I said no.
Hold on. Give me a second.
If the draft means nothing to me.
Yes, there's a couple questions here that we're going to be discussing today. One is, should they be required to sign up for selective service, a draft, basically? And the other is, what roles in direct combat, should women be either required if they were a draft or allowed in other situations? To what extent and what unique issues do women have in combat that we should talk about, right? There's a whole host of things we can discuss, right?
I also think forcing a woman to be around men, especially in a place like the military where we know like military rape is like rampant. I don't know. Right. I don't know if that's a great idea. Like putting a woman in the middle of like a bunch of men. Like I just don't.
I'm prepared for it. Okay, so the sexual brutality against women, violence against women is a thing because what we just let women join the military where they used to not be able to. Actually, I don't know if they were ever not able to. But we designed it around men.
Okay, should we skip through this a bit? Let's get into this a little bit. I'm sure we will not miss anything of value. It's fine. This is pretty painful right now. We need to get into the bits where Lav'd starts insulting Stardust looks. It seems like she just sits there, like, face like a slapped ass, as always. I mean, you know, what was I expecting? What was I expecting, really? I'm the fucking idiot, really, aren't I, for thinking Stardust is going to do anything remotely entertaining for this entire panel. But we'll keep going.
Pretend like men and women have the same like value to society. They don't
have the same.
So
no,
you
I'm
think
not saying that. Wait.
No, I think it's different and the same.
Okay,
separate but equal.
So they're worse at everything except giving birth, is what you're saying.
I'm not saying that men.
No, there's no evidence to suggest that women are worse at running a country, at doing politics, at teaching, at being a doctor. I don't like. There's no evidence to suggest that. Yes, women are worse at being strong. Yes,
but we've already moved past that. You're stuck on
that. You're so useless. Okay, teachers were already exempt from the Vietnam draft.
The fucking pot calling the kettle black.
Okay, fine, Smith, whatever. Look, men and women clearly have differences, right? We both agree on this, Lab, that they have biological differences and whatever.
Everybody on the panel does. And everybody also on the panel already agrees that women shouldn't be doing the most stringent roles, that you need lifting heavy artillery. And then we can move back to that. And we change the topic.
Women also get pregnant. It's not like when you're in the military. What if you get pregnant in the military?
Then you go home or whatever.
Right. She's spurging so bad and no one gives a fuck. So what is she even spurging out over here?
country, at doing politics, at teaching, at being a doctor. I don't like. There's no evidence to suggest this. Yes, women are worse at being strong.
Yes.
But we've already moved past that. You're stuck on it.
Smith, you're so useless. Okay, teachers were already exempt from the Vietnam draft.
The fucking pot calling the kettle black.
Oh, no way. Smith just did her like that. Bro, aren't they meant to be on the same team? And Smith just killed Stardust? Just totally backstabbed her? I mean, well, she went for him first, to be fair. Oh, man. It was effortless as well. It was effortless. Smith didn't even blink. It was Ultra Instinct. It was an Ultra Instinct. He just literally, reflexively, just killed Stardust. She swung for him. And before anyone knew it, she was like laying there, cut in half, like Gojo.
Okay, fine, Smith, whatever. Look, men and women clearly have differences, right? We both agree on this, Lab, that they have biological differences in what
Everybody on the panel does. And everybody also on the panel already agrees that women shouldn't be doing the most stringent roles, that you need lifting heavy artillery. And then we can move back to that, and we change the topic.
Women also get pregnant. It's not like when you're in the military. What if you get pregnant in the military?
Then you go home or whatever.
Like our bodies are different.
If you get pregnant in the military, you get massive fine. You go to jail.
Let me inform you what happens. Because
we make laws based off of people's bodies. If we want to be equal before law, we need to be equal.
Fuck's sake, what is this stupid shit? Oh my god. Why?
Before law. That doesn't mean we don't take into account the biological differences of women.
Why can't we just be equal without military? Why do we need that to be equal?
Why selective service is something that is going to be so rare. Something that if we even
so why do we need it?
That's kind of like
you are not helpful, Stardust. It's because it's the law, okay? And if you do not think that a woman is fit enough to fucking be a doctor in the military or program in the military or an officer in the military,
you are more likely as a woman. You are more likely as a woman to be abused in the military, being around that many men forcibly, than you are to even be like a positive force in the military. It's dangerous for women. It doesn't make any sense. Also, you have a finite amount of.
I mean, yeah, isn't rape in the military like insanely high? Isn't that what, Dude, do you remember the stabby memes? For anyone who doesn't know, I'll explain this now, okay? This is a very mean joke that never should have happened, obviously. This was very bad stuff. It was very mean, very fucked up thing to joke about, but Wick used to bring this woman called Stabby on all the time, who was like this middle-aged feminist woman, and was like absolutely insufferable. And she was like ex-Air Force or Navy. And she always used to go on about her sexual assault in the military. And she annoyed a few people, because people kept making jokes about her sexual assault in the military. And then we got told to stop making the jokes about sexual assault in the military. So everyone just started saying, "Thank you for your service, Stabby," and put in the saluting emoji. Very mean stuff. Not good. Not good at all. I don't see her around anymore, though. I've not seen her on a Wick panel in ages. And then we got told off for that, exactly, yeah, and then Boots scolded everyone for that, too. Why did you get out of the Catboy Corps? I was never in the Catboy Corps. I don't know what the Catboy Corps is. Not true.
Fertile years as a woman. Military men do not have that, right? So when you send a woman to the military and she can't get pregnant for X amount of years, you are stunting this woman's ability to have children potentially, harming her in a way that makes it so that she can't have children in the future, what have you. It doesn't seem worth doing. It just doesn't seem worth doing. If there was a big argument,
you see yourself as Tommy Shelby. Yeah, I'd say he's literally me. I've never watched Peaky Blinders, but I'd say he's literally me. Well, no, I was just saying about the thank you for your service stuff, Styler, because military rape came up.
It was like, oh, women are so good at loading bullets into things that it like outweighed how abusive being around that many men could be to women. Maybe it just doesn't for me.
Okay,
so I have a question. I have a question on the pregnancy thing. So first of all, there is a rash, at least in the Air Force there was. It was a meme that before a woman, when a woman would get called out to go on deployment and things like that, suddenly they'd become pregnant and they would have to find someone else. That was a big meme. So my question to those of you who think that women should be required to sign up for the draft. We have the draft.
They should be required to do birth control.
Because I really want to answer it.
Well, let me finish the question before we go off, okay? So what happens? The draft calls up, their name gets called, suddenly, oh look, I'm pregnant. Are they penalized legally for that? Are they forced to get an abortion? What happens? Do they wait until they're not pregnant anymore and then draft them? Like, what's the?
This would actually be good for society. Then more women would be pregnant. We'd have better
already when women get pregnant and they're in the military, they just get like sent back. They're not, you know.
Okay, then
They don't get, first of all, they don't get discharged.
It's not a draft.
No, they don't get discharged.
Right.
They just get
barely
sent to a different place.
Then you're making a system where like either you have to fight in a war or get pregnant as escape as a way out. No, like if you are drafted into the military and then you get pregnant after having been drafted, and you can tell when somebody got pregnant. There's an amount of time that you're pregnant. It's going to be basically 9 months. So if you get pregnant after being drafted, then you have a massive massive fine and go to jail. Just like when you're in the military, you're not even allowed to jerk off without permission. It's even in the rules. Like, your body. When you okay, so most of the people on this panel don't understand the military. Like it goes against you're not a human being. It goes against my values. Like, but it's a necessary thing for society. You're not a human being. You don't have the same rights in the same way. Your body belongs to the government when you are drafted. When you are in the military, your body. You cannot get a tattoo if you're in the military. You have to cut your hair however the fuck they want it. You have to work out when they want you to work out. You have to train when they want you to train, and you have to not get pregnant when they don't want you to get pregnant, or else you're gonna go to jail.
They want you to fuck them.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
so
at least I'm
women-
unaware of any military person who has gone to jail for being pregnant.
No, what
okay,
happens
no,
in the
but it should do
military?
that.
What happens in the military when a woman gets pregnant?
Wait, so let's just say you should go to jail for getting pregnant in the military. That's fucking based.
Train, and you have to not get pregnant when they don't want you to get pregnant, or else you're gonna go to
They
jail.
want you to fuck them.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
so
at least
plenty
I'm
of women-
unaware of any military person who has gone to jail for being pregnant.
No,
I-
what
well,
happens in the
but it should do
military?
that.
What
He did. Okay. Listen, you can hate on Smith. It was pretty bad till this point, but I think he's about to turn it around, guys. Would you consider covering the Ricata catfishing update? Suppose his community has been coping hard. If you want to... I think you're in the Discord, aren't you, Crypto? If you want to drop stuff in there, I'll take a look at it, see if there's enough to justify a segment. We'll pull it up.
happens in the military when a woman gets pregnant? She gets transferred to like another place.
I'll probably pull it up
essentially.
anyway. We've been covering it, so...
That's it.
Sometimes. It really depends.
I'm still unsure as to how that we would even select the women that come into the draft. If we put all the people in the draft, we have too many people to draft, now we have to select who's getting drafted.
Also,
I
just
don't see where you would pick women above men. I don't
Also,
see where in the list.
even the women, every single woman is on a fucking SSRI. You can't go into the fucking military if you have depression or anxiety. That cuts out 80% of fucking women. Like,
That's fine.
I'm about to say,
That's
what
fine.
Period.
Yeah, period.
Periods
Period
like battle
also.
too. It's once a month.
I mean, yeah, they would.
That's fine.
Like-
Doctors function while having periods.
I don't think that
Sure,
women are that
but-
pathetic. I think that women can do jobs
It's
fine. In
not
fact,
about
I
being
think
pathetic.
it's actually a fact that women are actually better workers and more loyal to their employers, which is the most important thing.
I
in
think
the
that women are
Should we-
smarter and
should we-
therefore
should we-
more
should we-
valuable and they shouldn't be put in the fucking draft to die.
Okay, well, you're going to need the
They're not in
smartest people working for the
draft
military, or else we
They're
don't
not in
die.
the draft die.
But I just don't even. You'd have to make an argument to me on why it's advantageous for the country or for women to be in the draft to even consider it because we don't need it.
Besides,
So-
So you're just against the draft. You're just against the draft.
Okay.
You're changing the topic. You're not engaging. You're just saying no draft.
Just real quick. So I got a couple super chats. I'm going to read them, and then we'll try to get back on track to some semblance of order here. $5 from the Alex Kirch Project to say they have to do a family care plan if they get pregnant.
So guys, 107 people here, only 27 likes. Now is a great time to remind you. Please like, subscribe, donate, buy a membership, gift a membership, buy a super chat if you can. Thank you very much.
He was in the army, I believe.
Thank you,
So I'm not sure how they do it there, perhaps. $5 from Fairy Queen to say the New York Times just covered the sexual assaults that happened on October 7th. Should America follow Israel's example in drafting women? And that does come to the top.
Lav just said she's fine with men dying because women are better. I mean, Lav is literally, she's done the whole men should start their life in prison and earn their way out thing. She's done, you know, is it all men should be force-fed estrogen because testosterone makes you violent? I don't know. Like what other takes has Lav had? Like it up, guys. Like it up. Ding dong, like delivery.
Topic at hand, right? Given that rape and molestation things are a weapon of war, and we can see what's happening in not only Israel, Palestine, but also
Like
Ukraine,
much?
Russia, is this something we want to put women at risk for?
I think, again, women who are drafted aren't necessarily going to be in combat roles. They are going to be doing things like nursing, like being a doctor, like being a cook. These are useful things in the military. These are roles that need to be filled. So yes, there's a risk of, and I will 100% agree with Lav'd that there is a problem with sexual assault in the military, right? And that's something that needs to be fixed. But you know what happened in Israel to women happened to citizens, not military people, just citizens, right? This is so yes, it is a risk of war. And so yes, I think we should be really careful in where we put different people. We should put them according to their skills, and that alone is going to probably put most women out of combat.
But why? Just a follow-up question to you, Stardust. Why would, right, in that, like, why would you ever choose, to Ali's point, a woman over a man if they're so limited in where you can utilize them? Right?
Because women
Why
are
not
Women
better-
can't even cook anymore. What is it? All they know is eat hot chip and lie. Oh, I can't remember how it goes. Thank you for the one gifted membership, Smokestack. Thank you very much. Thank you.
a man that you can put literally
Sure.
anywhere?
Women are better at nurturing. That women are better in these medical roles where they take care of people. The patients have better outcomes. So that is one place I could definitely see women. Women having diversity in the workforce does help the workforce. It does help the workplace. You know, having women as cooks, having women in other roles, administrative roles. These are things that can probably help the morale also of those places. So
I mean, in terms of work and job, sure, but in terms of war, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say that like that would benefit. I don't see diversity helping in terms of war. You're not really looking for diversity. You want orders clear cut and followed.
Well, women are
Sure,
better
but
at following
women-
orders.
So should women be in the military and men shouldn't be in the military since they're better at following orders?
Maybe they should just both be in the military.
They are both in the military. It's
You
just men are more likely to sign up for the military.
We don't deem
likely.
women fit enough for the military to make them sign up for the
Well,
draft.
they're not fit enough. So
So yeah, that's our difference in the definition of a like I don't think that.
you don't think that women aren't as fit as men to be in the military? Do you think
Yeah,
we're
I've been saying
equally fit?
Not no, I mean like fitness, sure, but
Women should be
have less muscle mass.
force conscripted to teach. I think men should be forced to go into the military, women should be forced to go into education roles.
That's fine. I actually kind of like that. I actually kind of like that.
Well, I don't want men protecting our fucking country.
That's like what I don't want Lav'd teaching our fucking kids.
A huge portion of our schooling, a huge portion of our teachers are already females, and teachers are already exempt from the draft. So,
okay,
that's why I'm saying everyone's already kind of doing the job they're best fit for.
Exactly.
So like, most men are joining. Most military are men. Most men are joining the military. They're better fit for their job.
People.
So the reason, another reason
the draft is for, so you get more men, and then the women who wanted to voluntarily sign up are already there. So we already have the women that want to be there. If you draft the women that don't want to be there, they're not going to benefit you.
If you draft the men that don't want to be there, they're not going to benefit. What kind of fucking argument is that?
You're just not going to get as many women to draft because we're all mentally ill.
Stop.
So
So
you
yeah,
get
stop.
military as a mentally ill person.
Here's the issue, right? We talk about the draft and things like that. We have a world where there are fires, right? Burning, right? It's not a world that is engaged in a war, but there are many wars that are popping up throughout the world. The U.S. military is falling behind on recruitment. It is not meeting the standards it needs to maintain the force. Something has to give at some point. If, God forbid, the U.S. is dragged into a war, or several wars, there will come a point where, again, unless something changes and we are able to meet our standards, that a draft might be on the table. $5 from Artemis Fowl to make this point. Military recruitment in the U.S. has collapsed. Either conscription comes back or women need to step up. So that's a question. Why should women be exempt from being signed up to a draft? If they are
They have periods and all this other random misogynistic bullshit.
If recruitment is down, that means men don't want to join the military. If men don't want to join the military, that's a problem with men not. Like, that's a problem with the military not being able to recruit enough men. To say that because men don't want to join the military, they're going to have a draft and include women into the draft that doesn't make sense.
Why would you limit? Why would
Also,
you
how funny is it? Because is there going to be a world conscription now?
Oh no, Lav'd's gonna make Stardust fucking spurg here. Stardust absolutely fucking hates getting spoken over. It absolutely rapes her ego. So this is gonna be just nightmarish. I think this is gonna get worse and worse. I can see it's devolving. If Stardust keeps getting spoken over, I can see it's devolving horribly.
Want to join the military. If men don't want to join the military, that's a problem with men not. Like, that's a problem with the military not being able to recruit enough men. To say that because men don't want to join the military, they're going to have a draft and include women into the draft that doesn't make sense.
Why would you limit? Why would
Also,
you
how funny is it? Because is there going to be a world?
See, Stardust started speaking first, and Lav just totally cut her off. Oh my god, Queen. This is why we stand Afro-Jewish Empress. Okay.
Conscription now. So now the world now the military that we're fighting against, are they also going to be half women? That puts us at a disadvantage. Like, are they also making like, guys, we're trying to be really equal. The Middle East, we're going to war with like, Iran, and they're like, we have
the misogynists on the panel think it puts us at a disadvantage, and the rest of us don't. And if we're actually behind on recruitment, so like another thing that I wrote into my intro.
I think we need to return to an honor-based society for men, and that will help with the draft.
If there's a firefighter that's axing his way through burning walls to save my life, if there are not enough firefighters, and
you are more likely to die if there's a woman trying to save you than if a man is trying to save you.
I want that guy to be a man. I want that guy to be a man, okay? Obviously, because men are stronger, okay? But if there are not enough firefighters and the option is it's a woman, that's what I got. She's there and she's gonna help.
If the option is you force another man to do it,
or I die in a fire, then
it's either a man or a man who is forced to do it. Why would you want a woman to be in that situation at all?
Okay, because so we're talking about firefighters, so this is we're not talking. Yeah, so that's not we're not.
But it's the same dynamic.
If there are not enough firefighters, you keep changing the topic to not actually answer anything. Anything that I said, you change the topic. If there are not enough firefighters and you're gonna die in the fire unless somebody axes through the wall, it doesn't matter at that point if it's a man or a woman. It's just somebody to fucking step up and axe through the wall.
What somebody who can do it, not somebody who
Please. Okay, so all right. I don't understand. Okay, so the U.S. Armed Forces, only like less than 15% of U.S. Armed Forces total are in combat roles. Why would we put men in logistics and administrative and cooking roles who could be on combat? Why wouldn't we put women there?
We don't need them on combat. Only 15% go. We don't need.
No, we do need men in combat.
You need to give me a reason why. You need to give me a reason why. Since there's 15% of men in combat, you can send more, but 85% aren't. You're gonna have to explain to me why out of that 85% we have to split it to women, just in case the 15% don't get to keep sending out to war.
Because then we have more people in the military.
You have to explain how this is equality also, because if you're arguing for this based on equality, you have to then like what would be equal? Is it 50% women that we're drafting? Is it 50% men? Like you need to like where does the equality stop?
I think it should be like so just like we don't choose between just like we don't discern between race and the draft.
She is starting to spurg. She's starting to spurg badly. Okay.
We're not going to discern between sex.
Yes, you are.
Okay, all right. So guys, so when we look at
we do discern between race and military with IQ. Idiot.
Less than 15% of enlisted personnel in the U.S. Armed Forces are in combat positions, right? Now, when it's drafts, it's about, I think it's less than 25%. But that being said, if we go to war with a nation like China that has a huge population, why would we waste men in roles like nursing or in administrative roles when we can have those men who are much more capable to put them on the front line? There will obviously come a time where we will need to expand the percentage of people or the amount of people on the front lines. And so to do that, it makes sense to recruit women, to force, all women to sign up for selective service, and they can work in roles that are best suited to them. Because guess what? Again, medicine is one of the places where women perform better than men. Why wouldn't we have them?
The military apparently not.
Because you're making the pool smaller of the men that you can pull from. So if 25%
No,
are in the draft,
we're
if 25%
making it better.
I mean, not really, because you're not going to draft everybody. You're going to draft an X amount of people. And if you make the pool smaller of men that are being drafted, let's just say split it up 50-50. If those 25% are gone, we need to pull people. I know it's not what you're saying, but kind of like what we're trying to get to.
No. So what I'm talking about here is there's inevitably going to come a point where during a draft we need more.
What a tone switch now over the Hunter situation. Yeah, exactly. It's so hilarious how she's basically undermining like her whole point the other week. But yeah, no shit. You should not be in combat. Correct. Yes, Stardust. That is what Beckett was trying to tell you. That is what BPF was trying to tell you. Why do you realize it now? After you've spent an hour emasculating, publicly brutalizing your boyfriend over it. Why is it now that you recognize that? Eh?
And we don't have enough men for the front lines.
So the first people who are usually drafted are healthcare workers. So actually, we should just have a female draft. So if the first people to be drafted are doctors, nurses, technicians, and therapists, then we should just get rid of a male draft in general.
We need a quick math lesson here. So if 85% of the people in the military are
You know, Beckett should be messaging her during this panel. He should message her and go, "I told you so." Imagine what that would do. Imagine if Beckett sent her a message saying, "I told you so," during this panel. How nuclear do you think the fallout from that would be? Breaking news, EA is in the top 10 Billboard. We are so back. That's big. That is big.
Frontline combat like people, and then we have a draft that is 50% women and 50% men. Then that means that there are more. So that means in that case in the draft that means we have a 50-50 military. Okay, so that means that we have 50% of the military that are men. So that means we have plenty of enough of them to be the 15% that are in the front line. So no, there's no reason you're saying the pool is smaller. It actually means the pool is a lot bigger to have frontline combat. And it's like basic math. Go to fucking like if you want to argue about math, like
Draft
at least
women and we'll just get pregnant. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like yeah,
well,
like if there's a female draft women,
when you're in the military, you don't have
you're fucking insane.
If you get a tattoo when you're in the military, you go to jail. If you get pregnant in the military, you should absolutely.
You don't go to jail if you get a fucking tattoo in the military, retard.
Yes, you do. It's against the law. You do not.
Wait, no, that's not true at all. Okay, stop. Because this is, so you do have to get a tattoo approved by your commander because again there are issues right with like face tattoos and things like that. You have to get it.
I love ISIS.
If you get a tattoo, it's very like without approval, it's very unlikely you'll go to jail.
No, you'll get dishonorably discharged if it's that bad.
People who are in the military who are in my chat saying you don't even have to do that. You don't even have to get approval.
At least in the Air Force,
you are not allowed to get a tattoo if you're in the military. It's not that big of a deal. They'll probably punish you, but you'll get away with it. If you get pregnant, that literally precludes you from like fighting in the military. It's the equivalent of fucking.
I changed my position. We should have a draft because that would help replacement, and more women will get pregnant to avoid the draft, and we should do that actually. So I think that women should be drafted.
Okay, yeah. So we can just disagree. I don't think that women are that like fucking slimy and conniving that they would like all get pregnant to undermine the draft. But I guess in your vision of the world where women,
people were drinking 18 bottles of soy sauce to avoid the fucking draft to like raise their blood pressure.
Why do you want women to be drafted? Why? What is it?
Because
if I want is equality, but I don't understand how
for a woman to be the president of the United States, we're gonna have to actually view men and women as equals. And since both of you are both giving very like loud, plenty of reasons why you don't think that they're equals, and you're just changing the topic or whatever. You don't want them to be drafted because you don't think that they're actually equally able to do the jobs or whatever the fuck, or you just don't think that they should because you think men are like lesser, so you think that women should they're above war. I don't think women are above war, and I also don't think women are below war. Okay, so like I think that they actually are equals, and we have to treat them like that if we want people like we do treat women like children, and a lot of women are mentally ill and retarded because of that, and this is a big step forward in not doing that.
But you keep relating it.
I mean, aside from the mentally ill and retarded stuff, isn't that just what Stardust's argument was the other week? But now she's like saying, "Oh, Smith, you're making a bad argument," but that's like the exact shit that Stardust was saying like 2 weeks ago.
The president, like Trump was president, he wasn't in the military, he wasn't in the army, he wasn't like he won president. You don't have to be that. So like a woman can win president without being drafted. I don't see what like that does with equality.
I'm talking about.
They usually don't run platforms based on being like the fucking leader of the free world. Like they
I'm talking about the perception of women in society will have a dramatic change if we.
No, it won't because you think they're going to be drafted to fucking roles that they're still going to be sexed. There's still going to be sex roles in the military in the draft.
And they're perfectly capable of it. I'm talking about things that are perfectly capable of it.
You're saying that they shouldn't if she's not on the front lines.
I'm not saying that she should be. I did not say that they should be on the front lines at all. I said that they Stardust keep saying that they should be fucking healthcare workers. Okay, that doesn't mean they're on the front lines. We just don't respect or trust women enough to do that. And if we cannot trust or respect women enough to do that, we think they're so slimy and underhanded. They're going to get pregnant, which should be illegal because
we do trust women. We actually trust women so much that we don't have to do military conscription because they will just be medics and nurses anyway.
The reason why I care about women getting the reason why I care about women signing up for selective service is because
I was having an argument here. Okay,
stop. Everyone is on this panel is allowed to talk. Everyone.
Anyway, I think we should have the largest pool to select from, so we can select the best people for each role. That is why I think it will be beneficial to expand that role, so we can further maybe reform.
How much?
Also, think about this: before they ever do military conscription, they ask to volunteer. So they're going to ask people to volunteer. I bet you anything, especially if the roles are still sexed in the military, which both of you have acknowledged they probably will be. That a lot of women will not be fighting. If a lot of women know that they're going into the military to not fight, there's not going to be a shortage of women who are volunteering to go into the military. There is a shortage of people who are going to potentially they're going to die in the military, which is why there's a draft. If you say women volunteer, you'll never see combat. Why? Like hordes of women are going to go. They're going to get jobs. They're going.
Talking about a draft like there will have been another war. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a retarded conversation to have in America, really, isn't it? Like as if America's ever going to be drafting like infantry ever again. Like that's not happening. Like there's never going to be infantry conscription in America ever again. That is just simply that is the idea of America even fighting another ground war is already sort of like, you know, why the fuck would they do that?
To maybe find a man in the military.
During wartime, women do pick up roles that are necessary for them that they can fill.
Yes.
Very small amount. Okay, when you go to a recruiter, you get to see the recruiters never trust them. Absolutely don't trust them. But you get to pick like what you're trying to recruit.
But remember, guys, WIC's all about having productive conversations about directional policy, directional policy. That's what he's all about. Having real discussions about real issues. Guys, should we conscript women as infantry in America, guys? Should we do that? Directional policy discussion. Oh man, so crazy. Like he wants to act like it's discussions that are grounded in the real world, and then this is the topics you're coming up with, like as if you're doing anything important here. You're not, dude. You aren't doing shit, bro. Fucking waste of space. Snaggletooth ass goblin. Tooth fairy.
for. You can say I want
Jesus.
to enlist to be a grunt. I want to enlist. You can say which thing you're trying to do. So like
Yeah,
why
that
don't
doesn't
they
matter
already do
though.
that?
To be clear,
Because
like
they did not need it.
you can,
Yeah, but we
you
shouldn't
can
want
give a
women to
preferred
be-
job, but even if your guaranteed job is never guaranteed. I know a lot of people who sign
saw
up to be
Stardust
X,
stream has
on their
9
contract or
viewers.
whatever.
Nah,
Once you
ain't
sign,
no
right? They can
way.
class you. They can simply say, oh no, we filled this job. We don't need it anymore. Sorry, you're going to be a grunt. You're
If-
gonna be a
Oh, she's got 34. She's got 34. Take it
I
easy.
just
I
signed up
wanna
for the military.
give-
If the military
That's
takes
good
on
for
women
these
usually on the
days.
front lines, then they have to do it.
Steph, I know it's exciting.
Again,
Calm down a little bit.
extend-
We're gonna give
Well,
it
the thing is, I never get a chance to fucking complete any argument
What are you
at all.
talking about? You've been talking most of the time here.
You
Anyways, and you've been saying
The more I
nothing.
talk, the more I
You're
need
right
to
about nothing. You haven't been saying anything, but it's not for lack of trying.
Okay, so
Thank you for
again,
your retarded whatever the fuck.
I understand what your argument is, Lav, that when women, when these things happen, women tend to volunteer for these roles. That doesn't mean that we can't still benefit from an expanded group of people to select from. One, I didn't get to say this before somebody cuts me off. The way that we currently do selective service and do the lottery is kind of outdated. We can improve upon that, and from the selective service, we can look at people and see who is most qualified and choose those people for certain roles, and that will free up more men to be in the front lines. So we will have more of an advantage. Yes, lots of people will volunteer for the army. That
I
doesn't
don't
mean
think there's ever going to be a shortage of women volunteers.
That doesn't
Well,
mean
there already
wait,
No, there
that doesn't mean
Yes, there
that
is.
doesn't mean guys.
No, there isn't.
Just
Yes, there is.
because. Oh my god. Yes, there is. No, there is.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Dude, she's so fucking
Well,
annoying.
get away with
Okay.
Okay, so
Finish your
again,
point, bro.
Let her get away with it.
You let her get away with so much fucking shit.
just because women volunteer and you think we don't have a shortage doesn't mean that there won't be one, especially when it comes to men in the front line. That is why pulling from a larger group of people so we can expand the people that we pull from and improving the lottery system that we have and making it more about who's
Okay, so in this
qualified.
hypothetical where women fill every position, where
I'm
there are
not saying
still
every
How many
position.
positions are women filling in your hypothetical service?
Yeah, that's another one.
What percentage of women that are
because
going
with
to be
volunteers,
choosing the
with
most
volunteers
qualified
who are
people.
already going into the military, then with volunteers and people who are being forced to go into the military through conscription, there's just gonna be there's gonna be too many women in the fucking military. Like there's just not gonna be. I just don't.
Like, even if we had a
85% non-combat roles.
So you want all the non-combat roles, most
I
of them
would
are
want,
women.
yeah, guys. No, that's not what I'm saying.
If you put women in war zones, you
Guys,
understand that,
How are we
right?
gonna? How are we gonna
guys,
respect
that's not what I'm saying.
like actually fighting
What I'm
war?
saying, is, do you guys know what the lottery system is for selecting, for drafting? It's incredibly old. You pull numbers from a fucking jar, okay? We
Yeah.
need to improve upon that. The way that I think that this would work is that we would improve the draft system. So yes, we have men and women sign up for selective service, and then we have a list of people and what they're up to, what they're doing, what their profession is, where they are in their lives, right? And we look at that group of people, and we look at the roles that we need, and we choose the best qualified people regardless of
So
sex.
you're moving from communities where we need them all, or times of war to help the.
We need
Yeah,
them more-
exactly,
We need them
also.
more in the war. We need them more in the war.
You probably need more, like the women that are suited for the medical, you probably need them at home
Yeah,
for the
probably
kids, and then you
teaching-
probably want the men.
yeah.
Like men don't need like the best cooking, and like in terms of like you're gonna get just.
No,
as
but
fine.
Women are better cooks. That's why they're
You're gonna get-
No,
and you're gonna get more
women
like-
who work in the service industry, right? That's plenty. There are plenty of people that we could pull from that group, right? Just because we're pulling people from these groups, from medicine, from the service industry, from other industries, doesn't mean that we're pulling all of them, right?
Yeah,
still
but
gonna have
why do you
some
think women are
people-
better at
Guys, remember-
I don't think
Wait,
we live in a
wait,
world where the
wait,
government has
wait,
access to everything I'm doing at any given moment.
I'm not finished. The draft. Do you know what ages people are drafted at?
18, 24.
18 to 26, sure. So even if we pull all of these women from these medical roles who are between 18 and 26, we are still going to have a huge amount of women over the age of 26 left who are perfectly capable, in fact, excellent at their jobs in the medical field. We won't have a problem there.
Okay. Here's
You
some
want
money I'm going to
18
make. $5 from Zephyr Hash Highway. What is the topic today? I tried to guess this. Seems like panels having 4 different arguments. Look, I need to draft some help here, maybe. Darius for $5. You want to know why I think women should not sign up for the draft? Tell me for another $5. $10 from Artemis Fowl. The lottery is random because it's a lottery to find out who will be guaranteed to die in combat. When you are talking about a draft, they aren't drafting
true.
positions for doctors. It's for frontline
That's-
bodies.
No,
That's actually not true. The first people in the draft is for medic. That's the first
The
people in the draft.
Vietnam draft, the Vietnam draft, only I think it was 25% of the people drafted were actually in combat roles. So that's what I read.
Fair enough. But medics are combat medics in many cases. Just
Medics
true.
can be
I would say
combat
you're still
roles.
taking.
Look at his teeth. What teeth?
You'd still be
Yeah,
taking
these are still
women,
in
putting them
combat
in
zones,
in a battlefield combat.
Sure,
So it's
it'll
like
be
you're
like
gonna
teeth.
fight, but you're
And also,
still gonna
if this is where women are most well suited,
This is retarded. Yeah, that's why we're watching it.
then a draft would look different. Like a draft would look like
Listen, this is how I'm standing atop the corpse Twitch poll right now. Okay, Wake's sitting there with 60 viewers with his big panel of the week, prime time, killing it with the big hitters of Twitch poll, Lav'd and Stardust. Okay, this is what we do here now. Okay,
only drafting females for a time because they're better suited to do these jobs. Like,
Even if they're not as good suited, having more is better.
yeah,
Why is
but then
it
that
better?
ruins the fucking community.
remember, guys, panels are what people want. Exactly right. Panels are the best way to grow, guys. Remember that shit.
No, it doesn't, guys. It doesn't. Remember, it's between.
Remember all the people who have told me, oh, Kuihman, you should be nicer to people and stop criticizing us so much so you can get on panels. Maybe then you'll grow. Maybe then you'll grow, Kuihman. If you could just get on panels with people like us and stop being so mean and stop mentioning Toothgate so much and stop mentioning Brianna Wu all the time and just stop talking about the things we don't want you to talk about. Maybe if you just did that and you get on some panels, you would actually grow, Kuihman. Okay.
18 and 26. There are tons of women over the age of 26.
Those are your most fertile years.
Why do you
Those
want
are your
that?
most
Why
fertile
would you want
years.
18 to 26-year-old girls?
40. What are you talking about? It's not you're not done after 26. You can have
No, but
kids
those are your
after
most
26.
fertile years. That's when you're going to have the best offspring, the
Nobody's
healthiest
getting
offspring
married
with
then.
the most ease.
Most people are not having kids.
I think they should.
Well, then you have to improve the economy a lot if you want that. So there's your first.
Women have decided
No, we need to get rid of the poor that you're
Okay, enough. I'm gonna try to recenter
Just
this.
stop noticing things. Just stop noticing. Notices in chat? Hello, notices? Notices? Any notices?
Or have kids in their early
reset
20s.
and things like that.
They're doing it anyways.
For those of you who
I'm
don't know,
a big
the Lav'd
noticer,
model,
I gotta
totally
say.
against having women sign up for the draft, etc. Is there a point we could get to that would change your mind? Like, is there a desperation point? Like, say we start losing to China or losing.
No, but there is a
If we're that
there
desperate, we already
is
lost.
well, that's true. That's true. If we're that
That's
desperate,
what
we've
I'm
already lost. We're just sending people
No,
in to die. If
it's
there's ever a point where instead of just like your body, we are now becoming like transhuman cyborgs fit for the military, and there's a degree of like equalization after that. Like we both are in our little bodysuits that are Dorito shaped and pear shaped for women that have the same like capability. Then sure, that makes sense. But until then, it's just not advantageous for women or the country in any way. Like it just
So you're just saying that women are not as capable, and that includes like non-physically demanding things. Because like
In terms of war, yes, I'm saying that. In terms
Why?
of war, yes, women are because men are better at handling the pressures that come with the war. You're gonna be better.
do you think that women are retarded children?
No, it's not even about retarded children. It's about evolutionary fear response, right?
The reason that women are retarded children is because we treat them like retarded children. So if you don't treat them like retarded children, they'll learn to not be
Let me
retarded
give
children.
you a breakdown. Let me give you a breakdown of some of the things that you're required to do in a combat zone or in kind of even where you're kind of adjacent to a combat zone, things like that. Even for logistics jobs or even for like maintenance jobs and things like that, we would have to push multiple pounds of equipment, things like that. It's a stressful, demanding, endurance-laden job, right? And again, some women can hack it, but a lot of women can't, and that's just the fact.
It's
right?
from factory workers. There are women that work in the factory. Obviously, they can, but it's a majority of men, and men are better suited to work in the factory. Doesn't mean women can't. Doesn't mean they're retarded. Doesn't mean they're infantile. It just means men are better suited for it. No.
No, and we put women in the roles that they are best suited to. That's what we should do, right?
But the role that women are best suited to in general is being at home and raising children.
It's not.
What are the roles that they're best suited to?
It's not. It's not the best role.
What are the roles?
The idea that women were meant to be at home and take care of kids is a myth. Women have worked all throughout history. 70% of the world's agricultural labor is
Yeah, but you're right, but they've never gone to war somehow.
Women are
You're right.
better
They have worked and they have never had to go to war ever.
Yes, but women have worked in medical fields too, and women have been shown to be better than men in medical
And
fields.
so obviously there's also
Who's top left? This is Ali the Sagir or some shit. He's just some. I don't know. I assume he's Muslim. That's the vibe I've gotten. Sort of like panel guy. I thought they always Wiccan, these panels always have sort of like a token, sort of like somewhat moderate conservative Muslim guy that comes on to just argue the right wing points. I guess it's more acceptable on Twitch to be a Muslim arguing right wing points than it is to be like a MAGA supporter.
push every single time there's a war. There doesn't have to be a draft. Women volunteer, or they're socially moved into
That
that.
is so bullshit.
Allowing people to choose is one thing. So women choosing to work, maybe they're better at working. I don't know, whatever. But they're choosing to work. If you forced women to work, I don't think the statistic would be that
I think
they're
most
better
women
workers.
are forced to work.
Okay,
In the world,
no.
absolutely, most women are forced to work.
Literally everybody is forced to work. Literally everybody in a like capitalistic like economy is literally forced to work. Okay, can we go back to this fucking? We need to so like so many fucking retarded things that these people are just doing.
I think before women get drafted, men who live in their parents' basement should get drafted. Who needs them? Let's fucking put them as fodder, dude. Who fucking needs them?
Okay, well, okay. Let's get back to So do you think that if you get drafted, it means people are saying we don't need you or something? Like, let's get back to this retarded.
That is part of
So
it.
that is that you feel like insecure.
It's absolutely part of it.
Okay, well, we don't need you. Okay.
Women are definitely more useful than men are in this case. You only need one man.
Can we get back to?
Yeah, you only
we don't need the draft. We don't need women to be included in the draft because women sign up anyways. Okay, so don't men sign up anyways, and not enough of them are signing up, and not enough women are signing up. In the case that we did have a draft, drafts are bad. I mean, sure, it's like we don't want that to happen. But if we did have a draft, it should be women are included in it. That is your argument. There is a dismissal that is completely retarded and bullshit. You're just changing the topic. It's actually not
We're losing
engaging at
people
all.
in the military. We're losing people in the military because we're not fighting any wars. Anytime we're fighting in a war, the volunteer number goes up every single fucking time. We're not fighting a fucking war right now.
well,
Obviously, it's not getting.
I'm going to suggest that we draft specifically Smith and Lav just so that they can do their whole. No,
can't.
no, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not.
I
Yes,
can't.
it isn't.
Okay, so I hate Stardust. I hate Stardust. I hate Stardust. I know I don't need to say that. I've made that perfectly clear. However, I would just like to point out the fact that that comment she just made, specifically draft Smith and Lav, is just straight ripped from one of the replies to Wick's tweet. So this person says, can I come on to argue in favor of Smith specifically being drafted into the front lines? So she's just straight ripped this tweet, tried to pass it off as her own joke. It's like the most closest thing to a joke that she's made this entire stream. The absolute closest she could have gotten, and she's ripped it from a tweet that she saw just before the panel. What a fucking pathetic loser.
Back and forth. Okay?
I'm on a fucking. I'm on a medication for anxiety. I can't even go into the fucking
work in
military.
the cooks. Okay, you guys can.
I can't go into the military. Period. With a mental health condition, and a lot of women have them. So I'm like, high neuroticism.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's
That's
fine.
fine to me.
I don't know what that draft is gonna look like.
That honestly, yeah, sure. Like, but even if that's the case, that is good for society that we even are acknowledging that is healthy.
No,
So,
that's not a good thing. It's
It's not even like I don't care if someone steals a joke from a tweet, but when you literally never have anything good to say, and the one time you get something poorly delivered, the one time you get something that's even slightly funny, still poorly delivered, like I say, it's ripped from a tweet, you're like, that's fucking embarrassing. Come on.
so that you don't go crazy and do like a Gomer pile foam metal jacket and like kill yourself in the fucking military. It's not like for you.
No, I don't know what you think I'm saying, but what I'm saying that yeah, we shouldn't like people that like have like mental problems or whatever, they're taking drugs or whatever the fuck they're undiagnosed. Those people we don't let in the military. If there's a lot of women who cannot join the military because they're taking drugs or whatever, then having women sign up for the draft like makes that a social like awareness type thing. If we had a draft and it was the case that only fucking 20% of women are mentally like fit enough to join the military, then like that highlights a dramatic like issue that we're having. And so yeah, maybe women are not able to handle the fucking stress and shit like of military, and it's not because they're women. It's because we have a society that like treats women like shit and traumatizes women and like fucking makes them retarded and crazy. So
do you think that at a baseline, even without nurture, men and women are the exact same?
Also, wait a minute, guys. Part of the reason why women are diagnosed with more is because women go see doctors more also. So that's part of it. How many dudes are undiagnosed with personality disorders? I'm willing to say a whole lot of them. You guys are fucking psychopaths.
At least one on the panel.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay. A couple things, right? So I've been sent some studies. This is on NPR's website. It's from 2015. Okay, there's a Marine Corps study that studied the difference between a mixed units, right, of men and women, and all men units. Men units apparently were faster, more efficient, etc. When you mix them, there were some issues there. So again, given that there is at least some evidence to suggest that mixed combat units, especially, don't perform to the same standards as other units. And when I say combat units, I'm not just talking about frontline stuff, right? I'm talking about anyone who is in a combat zone.
Even holding a gun, grip strength differences are apparent in men and women. Like even holding a gun, even the way you hold it.
Yeah.
So
even though women are actually better shooters. Women are actually better sharpshooters than men.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't think that's true.
Well, you think you hate women, but that's actually true.
I do think okay, so from in a combat zone, probably it doesn't bear out, but when it comes to competitive shooting, women tend to shoot better than men. But that is again very different from a combat zone, right? So
it's also because our fear response is different.
Yeah.
I don't think women are actually more mentally frail than men. I think that's insane.
In combat?
Women are also more likely to worry themselves and have
so men and women should be able to fight.
It's not even okay. Smith retarded. It's not even about being mentally frail. When you're in a combat zone, you're going to be like carrying like a fuckload of equipment and shit that is going to tire the fuck out of you. And if if women operate worse when they've like when they're like fucking exhausted, then yeah, obviously a man's going to be more suited to the combat zone, right? But it's not just about being mentally frail. It's a totally different task to be doing competitive shooting versus going and fucking killing people.
You're not like that frail.
This is a good demonstration of how you're like being incredibly bad faith this entire time. So like I said that women are not born to be mentally frail like little fucking snowflakes that they can't handle like fucking spilled milk. That's what I'm saying. Okay, and so you're saying, but in combat, so if we push it to the extremes, if we push it to the extremes, women can't handle it, but men can because they are mentally frail and they're actually less like mentally like yeah. So you actually think that women are more mentally frail than men, and I don't think.
If you want to paint me into being misogynist, I really don't care.
No, because you're trying to paint it. You are one, and you're trying to paint yourself as
in terms of war, in terms of fighting. Yes, women would be more frail than men in that situation.
I don't agree.
So then men and women should be able to fight since you don't agree.
Fist fight.
Combat can be fist fighting.
Okay, I see you all backstage. I understand that you all want a piece of this, but
how did you move from talking about mental frailness to fucking fighting?
Because I said in terms of war, yes, I would say women are more mentally frail than men.
Women fighting women, it does not traumatize either woman more than a man fighting a man.
Women aren't fighting in war, though, are they?
A war of women against an army of women fighting an army of women. Those people.
Okay, stop. Hold on. Stop. This is all nonsense. This is all nonsense. Hold on. We're not gonna have stop all of you. We're not gonna have Amazonian battles between women versus women and boys versus boys. What we're gonna be talking about here, right?
That's not a realistic one.
Yeah, it's the effects of allowing women.
Oh no, you're you love Mr. Girl. You do everything he does. It is so
it's so crazy.
Anything
you can. Anything you can. Just want to fucking throw dirt on me to just fucking tarnish me.
You're doing the fuck you thing just like him. Like you're so weird.
Jesus. Oh no, Lav is absolutely killing Smith. Calling him out for being a fucking skinwalker. It's so over, dude. Oh no.
Well, I'm standing up for myself. I'm standing up for myself, and you're telling me that I'm being Mr. Girl because I'm standing up for myself.
No, it's the way that you're.
Because it's obvious that you've learned this method of quote-unquote standing up for yourself from watching Mr. Girl. That is obvious what is that is clearly what's happened. Because that is what he does.
Doing it, it's so.
Oh my God,
I'm genuinely emotional. Do you think that I'm trying to?
Maybe you guys just both have the same fucking TPD.
Quick question for you. All of you, right?
I don't think. Can I just weigh in really quickly on this one thing? Just really quick, like, please. Okay. I do not. Please wait. I barely weighed in on them talking about it. Please.
Quickly.
Okay. All right. I do not think that women are more mentally frail than men. I think women are more traumatized than men because they live traumatizing lives, and men are fucking crazy. But I don't think women are more mentally frail. I think what it is, you imagine bleeding out of your penis for a week, every day for the rest of your life, once a month. Okay, that itself was traumatizing from the age of 10. All right, and let's not even like talk about the rest of society. Right? Society is very traumatizing. I think men.
Let's talk about the effects on society and the military both by requiring this. Right? Obviously, for good or ill, we can acknowledge that making women sign up to potentially be drafted will have an impact on how society views both women and the military. What are some ways it'll be positive? What are some ways it'll be negative? What are we thinking? And again, I'll get to all the super chats, I promise you. And I see you all backstage, I promise you, but come on.
It's not gonna change anyone's views on the sexes, especially if they're still going into sex positions, gendered positions. It's just going to take women away from their homes, their communities. There's going to be less pregnancy. There's going to be less children. There's going there's going to be more rape in the military because there are more women joining the military.
So, actually, I think since it seems to be like maybe majority of men want this to be a thing, I think if this actually gets enacted, women are going to start seeing men as weaker. Since like men want women to be in the military, like they already don't like that. So to be drafted,
and then every man is going to be like,
I actually think that people tend to have a lot of respect for people who work in service positions in the military. People have a lot of respect for people who work in medical positions in the military, including other military members. No other military members. Like if you guys remember, a few days ago there was this TikTok that was posted on Twitter where people were making fun of these cooks that were dancing in the military, and a whole bunch of military people jumped in to be like, hey, don't do that. These are people who do a lot of work, and you don't fuck with them. And so I do think more women being involved in roles that they are best suited for. Right? Again, we have to reform the draft lottery as a whole. Right? But once we reform the lottery system and make it based pulling people who are the best suited for each role, I think that we would see women being respected and seen as more capable of different things. So.
You just said the military guys defended them from the normies that were making fun of them. So technically, only military would respect them, and then the normies would still find them.
No, I think the military would still, military members do. People have respect for veterans, right? They would inform people and influence them. Okay, well, I like veterans, so.
I don't know if people have respect from how many veterans we have that are homeless and poor and so on and so forth.
No,
So
I think
do people
that's
respect them, or do people just like, oh, you fought for me, yay?
That's a societal problem, and we need to fix that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm kind of saying to your point. I don't think people respect military that much. I think some people do. I think second people do.
I think we don't have enough after military medical care for people, right? So yeah.
I think that if we have a society, if we have a society that wants women to have to sign up for the draft, that means that we have a society where we think that women have the discipline and the mental fortitude. We believe that women are disciplined and have mental fortitude. We're going to hold them to those standards, not treat them like children. That is the chances of that society electing a woman as president is far higher. So I think that when we get to that point, it will mean that we have so much more respect for women.
I also think that more women in this group in the military would actually normalize women in the military more, and might even reduce rapes actually, because there would be more women who are in positions of power, enforcing things. People would have to respect women more.
Just rape. You can't do anything. You can't do anything to stop rape. It just happens.
No, men just rape. But a lot of the times, what happens when
hold
men
on.
rape is when they go.
No. Hold on.
Wait,
Men don't just rape. We can
I just did it just
obviously.
now.
Okay. We don't all rape, guys. We don't all rape. Not all men. Not all men. God, we're getting so defensive. It's just so funny, man. Because every time, I just feel like every time Wick defends men, it's dripping with this, like, I'm one of the good ones. I'm one of the good ones. Do you know what I mean? Do you ever get that vibe? I don't even care at this point, right? People are always like, these Twitch ball freaks are always like, oh, you're reading into it. It's so autistic how you're reading into it and projecting these motivations onto people. I don't care. I don't care. Wick is a disgusting freak, and the way he acts, it makes my skin crawl. He's clearly desperate for female attention, absolutely fucking desperate for it. Clearly starved for it for his entire life. It's absolutely ill. It is ill.
While you're talking, look, we can obviously put things in place, we can do different things to reduce.
Yeah, like we could live in a surveillance state.
We can
we can feed men the estrogen that's method taking.
God.
We can put women.
But with more women in the military, that would
more women to rape.
No, what happens is when men rape in the military, as it is right now, a lot of men get away with it. With more women in the military, we have less.
They're going to get away with raping more women.
Literally, it's the military.
And taking women seriously.
We've never seen men take women seriously about rape ever before. I don't know why.
So if we want to start taking them seriously, we should have them sign up for the draft.
Yeah, just like the Me Too movement. Just like how the Me Too movement
That was literally just my point. That I was just saying that society is going to take women. It's the military. You can
benefited from the Me Too movement. Are you fucking kidding me? Like,
it's the military. Don't go down some tangent. Don't go down her tangents. It's the military. You can discipline people far harsher than a normal society. If it's the military, it's actually like not unacceptable to do a surveillance state thing on your fucking military people. Like the military, you have less rights.
Cameras in the barracks and they still
and they get away with it.
And they should not get away if you rape and like have.
Yeah, nobody in the military is like, oh yeah, they did a rape. Like they still have the same like this isn't okay attitude. It's not like they're like this is okay.
In positions of superior power, then yes, those women are going to take accusations of rape more seriously.
Yeah, because that's what we know about. That's what we know about society in general is that all women believe all women.
No, not all women, but more women will take it seriously.
You're just saying female representation doesn't matter, so like whatever.
When it comes to fighting a war, does it?
No, representation doesn't matter.
Okay.
When it comes to fighting a war, that's the last question. Does representation matter? Why?
No.
Yeah, having more female senators
is better. We should have disabled soldiers and we should have fat soldiers and we should have.
Honestly, I don't care.
Why is it better? Why is it better?
Need some advice from Toll on how to slide into DMs. The old foolery vulnerability assessment. Jesus Christ.
I don't care about the representation thing in the military, right? It's not media. Media is what I care about when it comes to representation.
That's not what I was talking about.
No, but I'm responding to Wick's question. Wick, yes, representation, it's not about representation, why we should have women sign up for selective service. It is about broadening the pool of the best eligible people for the roles that are needed in the military. I can't see a downside of picking people who are most...
So then there shouldn't be a draft.
So
you think there shouldn't be a draft and we should just pick people from our communities?
That's a draft.
That is a draft.
That's not a draft. How do you even understand it in America?
Yeah, Stardust is clearly pumping her gain at various points in this, I think. Because her mic just gets blown out to fuck and starts peaking. So she's like getting upset that people are talking over her and that she can't get into the conversation sometimes. And she's just amping up her gain, just trying to drown other people out.
So how do we find people to draft them now? Because if you don't want to do that, the name out of a hat thing, how do
Yeah, the Haas method.
We draft?
Except infinitely less funny, because Haas had charisma and jokes. Oh, you fucking did! Was talk over me! Oh, you fucking did!
Yeah, she was trying to explain this to you.
already explained this. I already explained this. But again, when we drafted people in the Vietnam War, only 25% of people drafted were in the front line.
Hold on, stop. Okay, Stardust, you said that you would like to reform the draft and reform the lottery system in particular. So my question and last question to you is how?
Okay, so as we know that like the lottery right now for the draft, or at least how it has been done in the past, is that they have like a bowl with like a bunch of numbers, 1 through like 365, I believe, and depending on the number they pull, that is the date of birth. All the people who are of that date of birth are.
Oh, should we just pull up the "That Is What I Am" video? I've got it saved. Let's pull up that. This is just a classic. We just need to see this quickly. I just need to see this quickly. For old time's sake.
Well, you're just talking like a Mongoloid.
I don't give a fuck. I am a Mongoloid. In my heart, I'm a Mongoloid. That is what I am. We are a horde. That is what we are. Yes, we are that. We are 100% that.
That's not something to be proud of.
It is something to be proud of, because the Mongols are the ones who created civilization. And you created nothing but barbarism. You're the fucking barbarians. You destroyed the treasures of mankind. The Mongols only united it. What the fuck do you know about civilization? What the fuck do you know about pride? What the fuck do you have to be proud of? Except looting, genociding, and destroying the cultures and peoples and wealth of this world. What the fuck do you know, Cans Cuck?
Well, you're the one here chimping out, so...
I am chipping out, bitch, because I'm a fucking human being, and you're a little soy boy cuck little bitch. You don't know who the fuck I am.
No, I see you. I think you're a Mongoloid. That's what
I am a Mongoloid, you're right. It is what I am, and I'm proud of being that.
Well, it's an anthropological term. It doesn't actually mean Mongol.
Oh, so what's your fucking point? You ugly, disgusting, fucking barbarian, smelly piece of shit. You want to talk racism? I can be way more racist than you, Angloid. What fucking civilizations did Angloids ever fucking have? It needed the Romans to fuck all of you in your ass to give you any civilization. You never had any of your own. You want to be racist? I could be way more racist. You want to talk shit about Asians? What the fuck do you have on Asia, huh?
I have nothing on it.
You have nothing, because you're a Cans Cuck, bitch.
It's so good, man. It's so fucking good. Holy shit, and then there's this as well, quickly.
Going down there, you see, I don't, not at C3, and you got a subsection, and you got a P. There are only 2 holes. Whoa, there are only 2 holes. Whoa, there are only 2 holes. Whoa, there are only 2 holes, and they to this day deny the complex of decadent vaginal complex. It encompasses them all. Hey, whoa, there are only 2 holes. 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 Whoa, let's go. Only 2 holes. Whoa, there are only 2 holes. Whoa, there are only 2.
What's our now that the dust has settled? Okay, now the dust. How still makes content? Like, now that the dust has settled, what's our opinion on 2-hole theorem? I see his point. I do. I see the argument. It's the vaginal complex. That's it encompasses them all. He was spitting. He was kind of spitting. Everyone mocked him at the time, but people were just motivated by hatred, I think. Cutebot wanted to embarrass him, and everyone hated Haas because he was mean to Destiny. But everyone just took it. Everyone ran with it. But no, he was spitting. Anyway.
Put up eligible for draft, right?
What's wrong with Ace of Base?
We shouldn't be doing a random drawing system. We're gonna get, like, you know, the freakiest people, you know, from that.
So now we're just people who deserve to die. So we're just do a draft of 4 people first. Black people.
Let's start us finish. Let's decide. Tell us how. It's not random. It's not random, then how? What criteria?
So the lottery, this whole lottery system, I don't think is right. I think when somebody signs up for selective service, I'm sure the government has a database of who everybody who signed up, right? We look at the people, what they're up to, their education, what they have worked in, right? And see, you know, who is going to be best suited for a specific job. Can somebody make like 2,000 meals every morning easily? Can they be part of a team that does that, then we select those people, right? So
More black people
obviously,
are going to be in the military.
when those units.
Wait, does anyone have the clip of John Zerka punching Has? Because holy fuck, if you've got that, put that on my Discord and I'll pull that up too.
When we form those units, we form those units based on, I think, if we have a bunch of like cooks, for example, probably those units itself should be sex segregated, right? But like doctors, service workers, etc., right? We choose the people who are going to be the best for those roles. We will still have a huge amount of people over the age of 26 who are excellent in their careers, excellent at their jobs, who are still serving the rest of society.
So the issue with that is that the reason we have a draft is if it's a backup plan. If we need people to go to war that aren't already in the military, then we're going to pick out of this random pool of people who are capable, 18 to 24-year-old men. These men are typically going to be capable for most roles that are filled, and they're not the best of our society. What you're saying is we have a military, and then when we have a draft, the people that are the best people in our societies end up going and getting drafted because they're the best at their jobs, they're the best at whatever.
No, what she ends up saying is that it's the people who are the most expendable. So then it becomes black people.
She's saying whoever's best.
I got it. I've got it.
I'm gonna crack those. I'm gonna crack them for real. I'm gonna crack them right now. Oh shit! I'm sorry. I'm gonna crack those. I'm gonna crack them for real. I'm gonna crack them right now. Oh shit! I'm sorry.
So based.
You don't send a good doctor to fucking war. You don't send a good teacher to war. Who you send to war, and that's why the lottery is the only thing that makes sense in a draft, is because it's fair. Otherwise, we're just going to find poor people to catch bullets in the fucking.
Again, the draft. Even when you do drafts, people who are drafted themselves, again, only 25% of them.
I'm not capable of anything.
That's a real male friendship right there. That is a based male friendship. Okay.
Like so cooks, chefs, nurses, doctors. The reason we have it at the lottery system is because men 18 to 24 on average are going to be the most capable in the military and filling any one of these.
Keep in mind, these are not volunteers. These are people who we are coercing under penalty of law, right? To do this. So the only, again, I'm just curious, right? The reason it's a random system is because, as Lav'd said, and I'm going to agree with Lav'd, God help me.
You do every single time you make a big fuss about it. Shut the fuck up. I'm based and you're mad about it.
There's a random element because it has to be a random element to it, right?
I can see, yeah.
And the pool you're pulling from has to be generally capable of doing all roles. You're not selecting who fits the best role. In your system, it would take too long to draft anybody. We wouldn't be able to do the draft because we'd be too busy reading through resumes.
And the government would know way too much about our lives.
That part.
I think regarding women, I don't think we need to do it. I don't think we need to do it like so specific with every single person, like but just with women, it's like okay, well, like we need like.
Oh, so women get special treatment?
Yeah, a little bit.
But you don't fucking respect women?
No, I just don't think there's.
Women are so fucking retarded.
They're just not as strong. They're just not as strong. So all I'm saying is yes, that's what I've said. I've been consistent. So if you need 15 cooks, like, and we have, if we're going to draft like a whole bunch of people, we're drafting a ton of women. It's like okay, send the women to be the cooks. That's all.
Why would we choose them? Because they're not as strong. Well, men are probably more capable to be cooks during wartime than women in cooks during wartime.
Exactly. That's the part that I do agree that women are not as strong. I don't agree that women are like mentally frail. I don't agree with that.
Wait. So you're in a war zone. The infantry gets attacked.
What does mentally frail even fucking mean?
Not able to put up with the fucking like trauma of war. I think that women are just as capable of it as men.
It's not about that. It's about that we have different fear responses. We do different things when we're scared.
I understand that my thing about reforming the lottery, I understand the problems with it, right? But at the same time, by expanding the people who are required to sign up for selective service, we are making more capable men available for the front line because we probably won't have.
We only need 15%, right?
Capable is capable. You don't need more capable.
Also, I'm going to tell you, recon Marines who do majority of the fucking legwork are going there volunteer based. They're not people who got fucking drafted.
The majority, again, we don't know in the future if we will need, guys. We don't know in the future if we will need more than 15%. We don't know that.
We have fucking nuclear weapons. We won't.
But that's why you just keep drafting men, because the men on average are going to be capable, suited for all the roles.
I have another question. Stop. I don't want to mute people, but I will mute people. I have another question. This is to Lav'd and to Ollie. Okay. One of the things, one of the reasons that.
Bro, now there are only two whole songs is stuck in my head. Again, dude, I just think of it sometimes. I can't get it out of my head. It's just one of those songs that you just start thinking about it, you're like, there are only two holes. You just cannot stop.
Is given that men are required to sign up for the draft is because men, or at least people, are seen to owe a duty to their country. Their country protects them, and at least the young men are seen to owe a duty of care to their country. This is something that there's responsibility to put their lives on the line if required to, right, in order to protect the nation. Given that that's the case for men, what would you suggest there be for women? If you don't think that the draft is appropriate for that, should there not be a responsibility that women have, that women are expected to fulfill? It's not a draft, but it is. What is it?
They shape and mold society. So as men, we'll work out, we'll provide, we'll go to war. Women are the ones that are keeping the kids safe, raising our kids, like raising the young men of the future. They're protecting and nourishing society and molding society and shaping it. That's their responsibility to our society. Whereas our responsibility is typically to protect and provide. We build, they mold.
Yeah, we have gender roles that
that's not required by law, right? Like, so the difference between, the difference between the draft, right, for men and what you're talking about for women, the truth of it aside, is that there is a legal requirement that men.
They still would. So the draft is a forcing factor, right? So we're not choosing to go to war. We get drafted to go to war. When we're in these war times, when the men are at war, women are going to have to keep society running, and so therefore that's their responsibility. It may not be a legally granted responsibility, but
you see the difference.
It's just as binding. It's just
as important. We go to war.
It's just as important, but it's not just as binding. It's not.
Well, I mean,
Now is a great time also to remind you to please like, subscribe, donate, buy a membership, gift a membership, buy a super chat if you can. Thank you very much. Thank you.
But it also, it's not as, first of all, it is just as binding, but it's not legally so, and that's because it's really hard to convince people to potentially go die for something.
Holy shit, it is. It's Muslim peace code, isn't it? Fuck. Holy shit.
something that they don't feel like is worth dying for, which is why it has to be legal, because there has to be a level of force. There doesn't have to be the same level of force in getting women to create children.
It's not
everybody
wants
wants
to
just do whatever. Just live your life like a normal human, and then you're doing your thing. You don't have any. We don't hold you to any standard.
Well, I think that there should definitely be a social molding of, I think especially now more than ever, to a social push to get women to have children, to say that this is your responsibility as well, like to carry on the race.
The way that I would do that is I would make it so that the economy is good enough so that people under the age of 26.
The economy is gonna stay bad and good for some people forever. We live in a free market. We live in a mixed market. You should just be less lazy. You should just be less lazy, and you should get a better job that's more challenging and better for you. If you want money, then you should go make money, just like how every single person in the world is making money somehow. But you can't shake it and you blame the world for it. That's
I have a job. I have a job. I'm not making money. I can't foresee you having a house and like.
Then get a better job.
Okay.
It's so funny that Smith. Well, it's not that funny. It's just like mildly amusing after that conversation with Chud, where he was like going on about how he puts 80 hours of work into his art every week and he's going to make it as a content creator, and you know he's living off savings. Now he's in a job and barely makes content and isn't in a better position than he was before.
Move to a different place. It's less expensive. Get a better job. Easy.
I would like to respond to your question.
I would talk about this. Let's continue.
Stardust, what's
yes.
your answer?
So I do think if you guys are completely against women being required to sign up for selective service, then I do think that women should be required to sign up at least for like volunteer work or something like that, if needed, right? But honestly, in recent years, I don't think I would have thought this before, but like I think in recent years I've come around to the idea that maybe a lot of people in like a lot of young people actually maybe should be required to volunteer in some sort of way, just like by law, like regardless of draft. But in regards to like women's jobs being like to have kids and raise kids, we spend a third of our lives postmenopausal. Our lives are not meant to just have kids and raise kids, right? A third of our lives are postmenopausal. That is past the age of being able to have kids. We do other things in society.
We also don't stop raising our kids after they become adults. We help raise their children and their children.
We do other things in society too, though, right? We have the ability to do plenty in society, and I'm tired of like the raising of children being solely women's responsibility, because it's men's responsibility too.
Hold on. I've been paid $100, so in about 10 minutes we're gonna bring a couple people on. Okay, just FYI.
You've been paid $100 and you bring people on. Who are you bringing on? Who have you been paid to bring on? Oh no.
Raising kids is a privilege that I would like to be able to have instead of being forced to go to war.
I think men who can't hold a job should be forced to be unionists. I think we should force.
I should be forced to marry a CEO and then I'll be all set.
I do think that women are superior to men.
Are you
unironically believe that.
No, I'm 30.
Hold on,
what the fuck do you?
You're basically a postmenopausal woman at this point.
Okay, maybe hold on. We've lost the plot. So I guess for those countries.
Okay. Also, guys, I'd just like to say we got an amazing. I don't know how amazing. I'm not gonna say amazing. I won't overstep too much, but possibly relevant piece of content as well. Apparently on F-Bomb's stream earlier, Stardust came into chat. I don't know if she started talking about me or what, but F-Bomb's told her to basically fuck off or do the panel with me in food shops. So we're gonna watch that after this.
Like, let's take it away from America for a minute, and this is to Lav'd and Ollie. For those countries who do have mixed service drafts and service requirements for, like Israel is a great example. In Ukraine, I'm not sure if they have started mandatorily requiring women yet or not. I'd have to look into that. But Israel definitely does. Would you advocate that they stop that practice? Do you think that?
Monkey with the $10. I hate these people. Anyway, this for your Woo video. Good stuff. Thank you very much. Hugely appreciated. Thank you very much, Monkey.
Yeah, so wasn't like one of the big things for October 7th when Hamas attacked and they attacked the civilians? One of the arguments was that, well, these people had served 2 years in the military, so therefore they're not civilians. They were part of the military for X amount of years. So I feel like if you include women into a draft and you force them into your military, you kind of remove that civilian label from them, and now they're just they're militants you can attack. It's not a good thing. It doesn't matter. They served for 2 years, so they're part of the military. They're trained. They know how to use the weapons. They can go back. That is a problem. You remove this.
Monk super chatted $10. I hate these people. Anyway, this is for your Woo video. Good stuff.
Thank you.
When forcing them to be in the military for 2 years, it's not good.
I don't know that I agree with that. I think that that's kind of just like justifying what happened to them, right?
No, I literally that's what I'm saying. Hamas gave that justification. So it's a problem. Sure. It's a problem that they could use that label. You remove the label of civilian in those times. That's kind of what we're talking about. You put women in.
We should give that to them. Why should we give it to them?
Well, we're not. But that's
well, also, I don't think Israel only did that because they were such a small population, so they had to. Now they're a less small population, so they don't really need to do a draft. Women don't even need to be in Israel, especially
specifically.
The conscription.
I was just saying. I was saying to me that removes civilian label, which it shouldn't. But like,
I have to contest Diane Perry's statement in chat here. These people suck dick. Well, I'm sure that is true of Smith and Lav'd. This guy's a Muslim. Nobody's putting their dick in that fucking absolute pit of razors. And Stardust says she's triggered by penises, so I highly doubt there's any head going on there.
To people that are attacking you, how do you tell them that, right?
But I mean, like we talked about briefly before, I think that people should be forced to volunteer to some extent. I don't know if it's the military, but forced to volunteer, sure. Like if it's just even feeding your community or stuff like that. I mean, that certainly can be a way to. If you want to call that military, then sure, I believe in the draft. But that's not really what we're talking about when we talk about military. Because that's not what we're talking about when we talk about military. When we're talking about military conscription, you could be placed anywhere.
Let's
So
talk about.
I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that
Korea.
draft.
Oh, okay, well, you believe in the same draft that I believe in. Like just like South Korea, you have mandatory military
That's not
service.
how a draft
Everybody literally has to like work for the military like for a number of years in South Korea. You get job training, you do all kinds of shit or whatever. It's really healthy for their society, just like forcing them to do volunteer work, and then everybody else, and it doesn't take away their fucking civilian status.
Okay, so yes, I agree with the draft if we completely change the draft. Yes, but we're not arguing on those conditions. We're arguing on the conditions, the American conditions, which are not what you're talking about. Your dream world doesn't exist. So if we change what the draft is fundamentally, then yes, I agree with it. But that's not what we're fucking arguing.
Just
Ultimately, that's not what we're arguing.
Change it to include women, and just don't put women in roles where there's physical like high demands where life and death's on the line if you're weak.
Not volunteer. I'm forced to do service.
Okay, at this point, gang, at this point, before I let other people on, I want to give each of you to have some final thoughts on this, but then I'll start bringing a couple other people in by onesies and twosies. So if you've been molding in chat, and again, someone paid me enough money to open this up, so just jump backstage, gang, and I'll get you as we can. I will give special privileges to people who are combat veterans.
Is this the $100? Yeah, Artemis Fowl.
You'll get a little bit of a jump in the line.
But you have to have a non-combat role in the conversation.
Seems like a pedophile, no?
Your brief closing, please.
I just
speculating.
Sorry, I agree with me. Like just
the children's book
sense,
name.
and yeah, I
disagree. Change the draft.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about doing.
So that's not even a draft as we know it. How
like, the only differences are including women and then like making and just like prioritizing women for roles that are not like strength dependent. My last thoughts. I think that a lot of the arguments against this hinge on women either what I'm defining as mental are being either what I define as being mentally frail, which I don't think they are, or saying that their ideal role is to like have children and that's what they do for society. I think that it's a luxury to have children and it's something that I would be lucky to be able to do. And I like I said, like I think the way you do that is like economy. I don't think that joining the military is a luxury. Like people like may talk about it like that, but it sucks. And I think that we all need to do our part.
Okay. Let's go to Lav'd. Final thoughts before we open this shit show up and make a little more money.
Yeah, I think more so than talking about whether or not females should be forced into military conscription, we should talk about why it would be better for America to force conscribe being a eunuch for men like Smith. I think that would do more for society positively, and that could solve more issues than potentially adding women into the military for America.
That's fun.
Okay, Ali, what you got?
Yes, I didn't really hear any positive reasons as to why women joining the draft or being part of the draft, nothing made sense. I think the way we have it is kind of ideal. People who want to join already do, and if at any point in time we have a last resort and we need to have a draft, we should probably draft the most capable men. And then if we're like, it would make no sense to sit here and sift through and find a percentage of capable women just to say that like women are part of the draft. Unless we're drafting 50-50, which we're not going to, it just makes no sense to have them as part of the draft.
In a war, imagine we're literally about to go to war. And we're like, guys, think about equality. Guys, everyone, think about how women would feel right now. Like it's retarded.
Okay, Stardust, what you got?
Okay, so it's not even entirely about equality, though. Having women, required to sign up for selective service is going to at least like make us, equal before the law, even if in practice we do it differently, right?
How deep does Box funneling go? She's using fake accounts. No, I think I've seen Artemis Fowl around quite a bit. To be fair, I think this is a regular Wick chatter. I don't think this is a Woo alt or anything crazy like that. Stardust Domesticated, #save Beckett. Thank you, Emery, for the $1.99. Thank you. Jesus.
Calling for women to register for selective service and making it required to do so is, it's recognizing that our roles are changing and that we're expanding a pool of eligible citizens. And we're not only doing that, but we're also enhancing the nation's overall readiness for defense. And so you have this expanded pool of people. You now have way more people, super eligible people. You can now delegate more able-bodied men to combat roles. We can expand the number of men who are in those combat roles. I don't see why we wouldn't pull the best of the best for these different roles, the most efficient people.
And with that, gang, onesies and twosies, we'll see. Okay, we got 2 combat veterans, or at least military, ex-military in here. We got Alex Hirsch, and we got Ranger.
Oh God. Oh.
Emery super chatted $1.99. Stardust emasculated. #save Beckett.
Thanks once again. Thank you. What was this Alex Hirsch guy involved in recently? What did he get embarrassed on? It was sometime this year. He did some debate and got totally fucking embarrassed. What? Where was he from? Someone must know. Someone can help me out here. Surely. Someone remembers it. Not this year, sorry. Last year. The year that's just gone. Abortion debate with Destiny. Was that it? There was some shit that he did where everyone was dragging him for like a week. Let me see if I can find it. Oh man, he spams a self-promo challenge on Discord, so I can't even find people talking about him. Oh, was it? Was it really in 2022 that shit happened? Jesus. I think it was the abortion debate, yeah.
Rogue, go ahead. What are your thoughts here? First of all, I guess I'll ask this: do you think women should be required to sign up for selective service?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Ranger, what you got?
Is your self-promo and Food Slots chat still up? I believe so, yeah. I got told that one of her mods apparently called in last night to basically cry that Food Shops hadn't banned me for self-promoing. So that's kind of funny.
Draft is something completely separate. I'm here to fucking dispel some of the misinformation in regards to females in combat roles. That is an entirely different conversation. Probably shouldn't even be in here.
Oh, well, it is. So here we are, gang. Okay, so let me hear why you think to Alex, why you think that women should be required to sign up.
I guess just quick update just for people who are here. Food Shops have started removing her videos on me because I think people sort of gave her a bit of shit for it behind the scenes. So she started like removing it all. I was apparently a blacklisted topic on her stream yesterday, but then she proceeded to have like an hour-long conversation with me about one of her mods later on. So very funny stuff. Very funny stuff. Total psycho. Yeah, unhinged.
Because we already have women that are going to serve in combat roles. We already know that if women are going to be capable of serving in roles like, for example, because what people don't understand is like when people bring up like frontline stuff, the most heavily hit units in the Iraq-Afghanistan theater are actually transportation units. So if we're going to expect women to actually be able to serve in the military and whatnot, and if they show they can serve, then why not actually have them, sign the selective service? There's no other reason. You either have everybody sign up for the selective service, or you just get rid of the draft in general.
Ranger?
What's the percentage of women who sign up for service?
What does it matter?
So like because then you're selecting for like out of the women, those would be the ones that are capable, that feel themselves capable, and are willing to do that. Versus like if you're just pulling from like the general pool of women, they're probably not going to be suited for that, right?
What are you talking about, dude? You're not making. What argument are you making exactly?
Okay, so let's just say there's 10 women who joined the military, right? Those women chose to do it. They deemed themselves capable. They went through the training. They want to do it. Now, if you pull 10 women from a random pool of 100 women, they're probably not going to be capably suited to be in the military, right?
Well, it depends what role they go into, honestly. I mean, it really
it doesn't matter the role. We lowered the PvP standards 80 fucking times for women, dude. The women can't go 3 days in the fucking field without having to get escorted back to base to get a fucking shower. When we're sitting in the field for a total, yes, it's 1,000,000% fucking true. What are you talking about? What are you, an 88 Mike? I'm telling you right now. Regardless, congrats. Field training exercises, maximum of 10 to 14 days where you go play military in the woods somewhere. Females literally cannot go into the field without getting escorted back to base to get a fucking shower. Google it. Everyone in the audience fucking Google it right now.
Google everything, you fucking asshole. Come on.
Are you guys just fighting? Hold on.
How are people behind the scenes reacting to a sexual harassment code pasture spreading around, if you can say? Yeah, they're not well, from what I can tell. I've only spoken to a few people, but I've just heard that, like, basically, yeah, everyone's just saying, listen, you look like a fucking idiot, and this is really embarrassing.
Stop.
Understand this.
If you have comments for the panel and stuff like that, please, right? Like, if you have questions with the panelists, I'm going to prioritize that, so go ahead.
Yeah.
No? Yes? We got more people.
No. My question is though, like, if you're gonna try, if the argument is that women should not serve on the front lines, where are the front lines essentially? Because like during the global war on terror, like Iraq and Afghanistan, there was no real front lines. The battle was essentially
anyone that leaves the wire.
That goes to the point of not drafting women, period, right? Because again, you cannot guarantee that they won't be on the front lines and see combat.
You don't have to. You don't, like when you get drafted, just because you get drafted does not necessarily mean you'll see combat.
Let's just send women to death. Let's just
said that.
You've not been taking this shit seriously. The only person been taking this shit seriously is Stardust. I'm sorry. She's the only
how do you take an argument this retarded seriously?
Holy fucking shit.
Sweetheart, okay? This is not your fucking field of view, okay? Go talk about something else, all right?
You don't even know your own field of view.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, this is your
I know my fucking field of view, guy.
God, good thing I'm fucking here. Holy shit.
Or what?
Or you would reaffirm the retarded talking points that are getting spewed.
Okay, what are you most frustrated about here, Ranger?
Pretty much everyone on the fucking panel, other than top left. Not really. I've never heard him speak. Might be cool, might not be. Not really.
What the fuck did I do?
Ranger and Rogue. Didn't this guy used to be in Child's Community, and they like left?
Let's say me and on the same side.
Pretty much everyone else on this fucking panel talking about like fucking medics. Only women go to fucking medics and everything. Like, dude, fucking most of medics are combat arms. Most of medics are fucking combat arms. They go to the line. And one of the biggest fucking things in combat when you do leave the wire and you are on mission is that shit does go south. You do have to carry really heavy fucking shit. And when someone can't carry their shit, the next person has to pick up the slack. And we have to do this over and over and over again. In regards to fucking medics.
He spurred out in spicy chat. What was it over?
Nurses and doctors, right? I didn't say medics. Medics, of course, are going to go out and get people.
What was the thing that you said? The surgeons, the best surgeons shouldn't be going to war? The best surgeons should be going to war. They absolutely should be going to war. They should stay on Kandahar. They should stay on the bigger fucking bases where they are safe and they can operate on the fucking people that are getting medevac back. Holy shit. Like, you guys don't understand fucking military. And
the best surgeon isn't necessarily the best surgeon for the military, is what I think that you're saying. Like, even if a woman is like even if you're top of your game as a woman surgeon in the real world, still you could not be equipped to be a surgeon in the military. So it could just be like, you are just not as suited. It's not that it's too scary. We have ear responses.
It's scary. It's literally too scary.
Ranger, I have to ask, were you listening to like anything that came out of my mouth?
The majority of the panel I was listening to, I wasn't writing down every stupid thing that was being said. But
okay, so I didn't say medic. I didn't say medic. All right, I understand that is one thing that I refrain from saying. People who have to go out and get injured people probably not going to have a woman go out and do that.
That's another thing. Like, dude, people are fucking heavy. You're gonna carry me 220 pounds plus 80 pounds plus on my IoT.
It's just so crazy. Like, this literally undermines everything Stardust was spurging out about against Beckett the other week. It's so crazy.
I'm going with you. You fucking idiot. You fucking retard. What do we do? I never said that.
But you're prescribing that you want women to join combat arms. You want women to join the fucking military in the combat arms in the front line. What do you think the front line is?
Shut the fuck up, bro. I'm talking about doctors and nurses who are working on people who are already brought in. I'm not talking about.
Oh, good. 0.007% of the military. Good. Have two women carry then. Okay, so like if we're drafting them, just we're gonna have a whole bunch of people. Because that's efficient. That's efficient. Everyone knows when someone goes down in the middle of a road and you suppress the fire and you go and get that person. The person getting them isn't definitely the most prime fucking target for the sniper or the IED or anyone fucking that's watching. Enough. Right. So you want to pay 4 women to carry one person instead of one guy to drag them to the fucking rocket track.
How is that advantageous? How is that you are going out of your way and the only reason is to be like for equality? Like why?
Isn't this amazing directional policy discussion? Productive directional policy discussion? Slow it down, can't enjoy the spurg. Yeah, fair enough. It's getting a bit heated. We should take it down a little bit.
You want women to join the fucking military into combat arms in the front line? What do you think the front line is?
Shut the fuck up, bro. I'm talking about doctors and nurses who are working on people who are already brought in. I'm not talking about
Oh,
people.
good. Good point. 0.007% of the military. Good.
Have two women. Have two women carry then. Like,
Okay.
So like if we're drafting them, just have, like we're gonna have a whole bunch of people.
Because
two women carrying them.
that's efficient. Because everyone knows when someone goes down in the middle of a road and you suppress the fire and you go and get that person, the person getting them isn't definitely the most prime fucking target for the sniper or the IED or anyone fucking that's watching the person that initially went down.
Dude, Wix, bro, you've been doing this for like 3 years or something. Buy a new mic, please, dude. Holy fuck, you're sitting on that tooth money and the woo bucks and you've not bought a new mic. Are you crazy? Dude, please. So fucking shit. Like, put some effort into your content. Like, do you want to be doing this or not? Holy.
Nobody fucking knows that.
Enough.
Right. So you want to pay 4 women to carry
Nobody cares because he's pathetic and, you know, fucking ballless and toothless.
one person instead of one guy to drag
Sometimes
them
that's
from a
what
fucking
it
raptor strap.
How is that advantageous? How is that you are going out of your way and the only reason is to be like for equality? Like why would what's the reason? What's the reason?
It's anti-misogyny.
Okay. Ranger, you know what you could have done, Rangers? You could have come into my chat and been like, hey, Stardust, can you clarify this? And I would have said, you know, there are like medical hospitals, there are like places we take injured people to. We can certainly have women staff there. We can certainly have women staff in areas.
Because in wartime we know that hospitals are safe.
Oh my god! Not only that, but we have cops and we have fobs. All right, outside the wire, little bases that get overrun fucking constantly. Do you have any idea what happens to female POWs? They get fucking brutally raped hundreds of times, not once, hundreds of times by hundreds of different men. They get transported all over the place, raped over and over and over again.
There goes my monetization, but fair.
Sorry.
It is what it is.
Cry about it. Cry about it. Why are you doing a... Bro, you're doing a panel about women in warfare. Yeah, they're going to talk about fucking how women get raped in war. Yes, obviously. No shit. Bro, you're doing politics and you're crying about monetization. Come on, bro. Get it together. Also, how much ad revenue are making up? It's not like it takes away your super chats. It doesn't take away your super chats. What ad revenue are you making off of this? Like, less than $20, surely. It's sub $20, 100%. Oh, jeez, I just went back, for fuck's sake. Somewhere around here.
We have cops and we have fobs, all right? Outside the wire, little baby.
Oh, it is what it is. Okay, thanks for calling in. I think we've made our points.
But do you think that nurses
dying is worse than being raped?
Do you guys think
being killed is being worse than being raped?
Do you guys think that, like, do you
repeatedly
think that,
hundreds of times? I don't think so.
That nurses who work in the medical field normally don't have to lift human bodies?
They do, but it's easier for the men.
Wait. Have you ever been to a hospital because they get any male to come do that?
We had a short. It's true.
There are tons of female nurses who help lift bodies.
They built machines they built machines for this, and any single time.
What is she on about? As if like carrying a body in a hospital is the same as carrying a body in war. You've got to be a lot fucking quicker under a lot more stress with one of them, bro. Or porters, yeah, exactly. And like as if nurses are just like carrying people around in fucking hospital. Come on now.
8 pounds, they still got 2 male nurses to lift.
We overhired male doctors. Male nurses came up crazy over the past few years because specifically for the lifting, for the holding, for the shit that requires strength. There are so many male nurses now that were required, that were needed in the field because the women couldn't do it.
Yeah, but we have tons of nurses.
Sure, that doesn't
female
change.
Nurses who still have been.
Do you know what a nurse does? A nurse is basically female nurses change like bedpans and put needles in you. Like male nurses.
People. They also.
I don't know why any of this means that women.
Okay. Now we're going to recenter it. We're going to recenter it. Stop. We're going to recenter on the draft and the military service and things like that. And we have 2 new guests who are going to weigh in. I'm going to give it to Daedalus first, and then I'm going to give it to Artemis. Daedalus, do you have a comment or a question for the panel specifically? Go ahead.
Well, I have more of a comment.
Oh, I can't hear you at all.
He's a little low. Just get closer to your mic. Just get closer.
How about now? Better?
Oh, this Daedalus guy sucks. Oh man, I hope your mic doesn't work. Stay off the panel.
I'll turn you up on my side.
Okay.
Yeah,
while you're fixing that, while you're fixing your audio because we can't hear you, let's go to Artemis.
Hi, Stardust.
Hi, Artemis. How's it going?
Not bad. Hey, I got a question for all of you. Is the question about women in the draft, is this an equality argument, an efficiency argument, or a standards-based argument?
For me, it's based on expanding the pool of people so we can pick the most eligible people for each role. And of course, you know, women are most likely not going to be in those combat roles. I do want to clarify one thing somebody said in chat. Somebody says, having been in combat arms, we didn't have doctors and surgeons on the front lines.
You don't.
Precisely my point in that we're, you know, bringing females in to fill roles so we can free more men up for more combat-based roles. So
I want to hear mostly actually from, what's your name, Smith. Yeah. For me, it is a standards. When you say standards, you mean like a moral, ethical? No, right? Like military standards. So equality would be a moral, ethical. So standards is a actual capability. The efficiency argument would be the ability for the military to pull from the general population. It is a equality and an efficiency, but it's not a standards. Okay. Do you know what the purpose of the military is for? To destroy and eliminate threat and protect a country in the most effective manner possible, right? Yes, because you don't want to have a military. The joke about 2 women or 4 women carrying somebody was a joke. I actually haven't been here for the conversation. I was just letting you guys argue amongst yourselves. I'm coming in this fresh just to hear directly from you. That way, there's no like screaming going on. So you keep going. So we're talking about equality and you said a efficiency based argument. The issue is that a standard based argument should be the primary focus of a military. Because if it is combat ineffective, it is worthless. The standards come into play for me when selecting who to go for what role. So I have the standards should be in play like I was saying. So if a firefighter is going to save my life and he's passing through walls, I really want to be a man.
But placing someone is more time. So having
I'm kind of getting done with this, and there's a lot more to go for some reason. Oh my god.
We talk about. I want to pass the ball to Daedalus. Hopefully his audio is fixed. And Daedalus, can you hear me now? Yes.
I don't care what Daedalus has to say.
I do have a question for the one that.
85%.
It's close to 85%.
Yes.
Military in back-end work.
For example, it's usually 10-1 for head to tail for logistics. That's a common stat that everybody references. It's because you have to. For the U.S. military, especially, that is resource intensive.
Now,
why are they still underperforming?
What's the point of Alex Kirsch, who was on here earlier, and I don't know why he brought this up because it goes against his point. We cannot guarantee where the front lines are. And so when you are in a combat zone, which combat zones do need a lot of service personnel, they need cooks, logistics, transportation, et cetera, again, you are not safe. And so given that that's the case, and a lot of times transportation's hit and logistics are hit and attacked by the enemy, having them be having a frontline job or not doesn't really matter when you were in a combat zone, right? I mean,
sure, yeah, but again, I'm not necessarily advocating for women to be specifically be put in those places. I'm advocating for the most capable people to be put in the roles that suit them.
Why would you remove capable people from society and put them in roles?
It also just seems like statistically women are not capable even in desk jobs in the military. It seems like they underperform.
There are plenty of people over the age of 26 who still are excellent at their jobs who are not going to be drafted, bro.
Co-ed, performance.
That's no. You're talking about groups with co-ed. That is a thing, but that's different from saying that women don't perform well. The co-ed issue is the same as women getting pregnant because they're like fucking like there's a problem.
Well, no, I think it also says that just female units don't perform well either.
Correct. I gave those studies to WIC. The answer is that if you add females into a unit, unfortunately, reality is a thing. Women can't do as much physical things as men. But this only applies to combat missions. So not necessarily desk duty. So it's not as big of an issue.
Yeah, again, if 75% of the people, and again, we are not taking all of the most capable people out of society, but we do want excellent people serving in the military. So yes, from 18 to 26, we're going to pick the most excellent people. Then all of the excellent people over the age of 26 are still in society.
So here we go back to this efficiency.
It's not like a draft is going to take away this.
One at a time. I want to hear what. So Ali's point is that it's just superfluous. So why is it not? Why is that incorrect? I want Daedalus to go then Stardust.
And then Smith.
We know.
I don't want Daedalus to go. I want to hear Starship scream.
To 100 men apply, 100 men are selected, 100 women are selected. They're both groups are 100% capable. Why would you ever choose anyone?
Because
they're better than the men.
They're both full capability. The men have the full capability. The women have the full capability. Why would you only select the women?
Why would you only select the men then? Like same question backwards.
Well, for the I mean,
outside of tradition,
I would say tradition. And
to steal man his point a little bit, one of the reasons you would is because women can serve a function at home on the home front.
And they also you're losing less to send men away.
Did this guy just like totally own himself? Did the Muslim guy just go, if you've got perfectly capable women and perfectly capable men, which ones are you going to pick? It's like, well, it doesn't matter at that point, does it?
Infertile for longer.
I think he realized after he said it that it was fucking retarded. Jesus.
Hold on. The actual answer is, from a military standpoint, you just like men because they're less prone to get concussions, their bone density is higher, less fractures.
That's also true.
Less medical problems when you pick the men. But for our society, we have chosen that equality matters a little bit more than our standards of efficiency, so that's why we allowed it. That's a morality argument.
In terms of a draft, I don't think equality should come into play.
But for non-combat roles, wait, Artemis, for non-combat roles, why shouldn't we have like the most capable people in them, regardless of their sex?
So this is drafting them, not them choosing. Why would you draft women?
Just give them helmets. So the answer is that what is the baseline job of a Marine?
Rifleman.
I'm glad you like that, Wick. What is the baseline? It's a rifleman. Everybody's a rifleman in the Marines because their job requires it. What is the baseline job for an Army person? It's the same thing. So the issue is that other than the Air Force, maybe the Space Force, these jobs are going to require that you be physically ready to fight. Because at certain points your FOBs do get overrun and stuff like that. And you don't have the guarantee.
Again, you're not in the combat zone. But again, only that's my point in requiring women to sign up for selective service so that we have the best of the best to select from, and we put women. Maybe most of the time we're probably not going to put women in combat zones. We're probably going to put women in other areas.
That feels I can tell you from being a serviceman, it sucks when the women can get out of things that the men can't. Like it sucks when
We're not being treated equally at that point.
I left it.
No, of course it's not equal because men and women have different capabilities.
No more Lav? Did she come back? No, Lav? What? Oh, I don't know if I can watch this anymore.
Right?
So I'll go back to this. How many people in the United States are qualified to be in the military?
We have an incredibly shrinking pool to begin with.
Well, for example, let's go with the obesity rates. Yes. What is the average? What is the number between men that are obese and female obese? Do we know?
Women are way more obese.
Women are more, yeah.
You're going to have high.
That's okay. Yeah. So if
Not going to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think them having to sign up is fair.
Okay.
Yeah, but the fact is not that they're more likely or as
Are eligible, like number-wise, eligible for the draft? Number.
well, regardless if you're eligible.
A lot of different things, but it's you know.
Okay, well, that looks like all the fun's gone. There's nothing else worth looking at there.